welcome to yet another episode of Kelly and Kelly.
With hot topics, mostly in real estate.
And one of our hot topics is a discussion for both buyers and sellers to know is when it comes to the topic of earnest money.
Right.
How much, when,
Yep.
do I have to?
Right.
And can I lose it?
So how about we go back to what is it? Because that
Yes.
is actually, and when I work with first-time home buyers especially, but even buyers and sellers who have done this before, they don't really understand what earnest money is.
Right.
So earnest money is a deposit on the home. It is essentially the buyer telling the seller, I'm serious about buying your house. I've got skin in the game,
That would be a good thing.
right? And skin in the game makes the seller feel like, okay, I can now start to incur the costs that I'm going to have between now and closing, which is I'm going to start my title work. I'm going to pack everything up. I'm going to get an apartment. I'm going to buy a house. Whatever you're going to do because you have an offer on your home, all of those things have an impact on long-term life and expense. So when you put this deposit down, it says, I'm serious about buying your house because I don't want to lose my money.
Right.
How much money?
How much money am I needing to put down?
Right. So, again, I want to preface the idea because I know this is going out to Facebook land and everything too. So we are in central Wisconsin, right? And in central Wisconsin, I would say that a fair range is anywhere from $500 to $5,000.
Okay.
And it depends on the purchase price of the home.
Sure.
It depends on all of the other terms and conditions, whether or not you're in a multiple offer situation like we've talked about or anything like that. But typically between $500 to $5,000 in our central Wisconsin area.
Okay.
Determined all by the buyer when they write their offer, how much they want to put down, and by the seller when they respond to the offer as to how much they're going to require.
And then that check goes to you, but then where does it go from there until closing?
So let's back up a second. It doesn't go like to me. The check does get delivered to my hands so that I can make a copy of it.
But it's not written out to you.
Right. So it does get delivered to me so that I can make a copy of it and put it in our file, just for tracking purposes and everything else. Also because your lender is going to want verification of the fact that that's been deposited, so then I have all of those things that I need. But what it really does is it gets deposited into a trust account. And what a trust account is it's an interest-bearing savings account. The interest actually goes toward the homeless people of Wisconsin.
Oh, nice. That's a nice
touch.
Yep,
so the state of Wisconsin has set up all of these savings accounts, and they say that these are solely for the purpose of other people's funds.
Okay.
So none of our business money goes in or out of the account.
Right.
Only the funds for transactions. Those funds belong to, for all intensive purposes, the contract, right? So if you want your money back, you and the seller have to agree. If the seller wants to keep your money, you and the seller have to agree. All of those things have to be agreed on in order to pull something out of the trust account. Okay? But again, because it's like a security deposit type funds, you got to remember that it does get applied to the purchase price. So if you have a $100,000 house and you put down $1,000 earnest money, at the time of closing, you're going to bring $99,000 to the table.
Correct.
Because $1,000 is already there.
Right. And that doesn't get cash, mind you. When you hand that over, it's not getting cash. It's put into...
Well, okay. So it's not getting cashed. There's not cash involved.
Right. They're not going to the bank and they're cashing it.
But it does get deposited, so it comes out of your account right away. So you need to remember that you can't just write me a check because it'll be used later. No,
and there's no money backing it.
It gets deposited, so you have to have money in your account when you're writing an earnest money check.
Okay. Perfect.
And then the one other thing that's important to know is that when you write your offers based on contingencies, right?
Right.
So if you write your offer contingent on financing, and you can't get your financing, typically then the funds would be refunded or released back to you.
Sure.
Because you're removing yourself from the contract based on a contingency.
Right.
Now, if you just decide, hey, I want to move to Colorado, not a contingency, the funds would then typically be released to the seller. So that's important to know because, again, it's your skin in the game, so they
Right.
want you to know you do risk losing it if you back out of this contract for a reason other than a contingency.
That's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we have it. Earnest money, one of our hot topics of today with Kelly and Kelly.
With hot topics, mostly in real estate.